Todd, and today we'll be making Uncle Ben's rice, cheese, tomato, and onion rolls. So, let's get cooking. What are the ingredients? First, there's a 1/4 pound of butter, a 1/2 cup of finely chopped onion. And how do you know it's fine enough? Because it looks just fine to me.
Oh, the onions really got to me.
A 1/4 cup of water, and always in a happy glass. A 1/2 can of these little Mexican style tomato sauce. 2 cups of flour, and remember when you're measuring flour, use a knife. Sugar, salt, yeast, 1 egg at room temperature. Now if you haven't planned ahead, just stick it under your arm gently. Oil, and a whole buttload of cheese grated up. Oh, and 7 grains of Uncle Ben's rice. Now the first thing we're going to do is heat the butter in the skillet over medium heat. So we're just going to do that now. And while we're doing that, look who's here to say hello. It's Mr. Pussy we love. We'll chuck in the onions. And we're going to cook until they're translucent. Now some of you may be wondering, what's translucent mean? Translucent means you can kind of see through it, but not all the way. It doesn't make it invisible, but makes it kind of like light can go through it. Once the onion's translucent and smells good, then you can add a 1/4 cup of water and 1/2 can of tomato sauce. Yum. Oh, the next step is we need to combine some floury type things. So we're going to take 1/2 cup of flour plus the sugar, which is going to be a little bit less sugar. It's going to be 1 teaspoon of white sugar. One tablespoon of the sugar. Now remember, teaspoon is the little TSP, tablespoon is the big TSP. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. But if we're dividing the recipe by 2, that'll be 3/4. Don't forget the yeast, which is very dry. And your 7 grains of Uncle Ben's rice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Add the tomato sauce to the mixture, but make sure it's cooled because you don't want to kill the yeast, do you now? No, we don't like murder in the kitchen. No, not at all. And then you mix it on low, but be careful of your tuxedo. Until it's just spongy. Add the rest of your flour and beat for, I don't know, a couple minutes until it's nice and elastic. Or you can knead it if you like, but not in this outfit. Well, I ended up kneading the shit by hand, and it made a huge mess. So after you do that, you spray it with some oil and let it sit for 2 hours. Hey dude, the next thing we're going to do is punch and roll. Now that the dough's had like 2 hours to rise, it doesn't really look like it's risen much because I used old yeast. We're going to punch it. Punch it like you mean it. And like the hippie said, make sure you put it on a little flour before you start to roll. And we're rolling, rolling. Now I'm cutting the dough into 3-inch squares, man. Now I'm going to take some cheese and put it in the middle of each little square. Okay, so after some trial and error, dude, what I realized is that it's not so easy to fold it up in a triangle, so I kind of settled for this method. Take that, fold in the corners, and I'm settling for this kind of free-form rectangle. One eggs was brush the parcels with some egg beaten with water, and we put them in a preheated oven at 190 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes, and then we'll have our finished product. So, time to get baked. After 15 minutes, they're ready to come out of the oven, looking maybe not pretty, but delicious. And now, the smell test. Something smells cheesy. Voila.